interesting when you're looking at with this point of, so you say successful nations produce good billionaires. Now, how would you define good billionaires? Does it include the Ambanis, the Adanis? How would you see the Tatas? But the fact is that Mukesh Ambani has redefined his business during this pandemic.
Right. So the way that I define good and bad billionaires is in what industries they're mainly dealing with. And my point is that billionaires that make too much of their wealth in the so-called rent-seeking industries. These are industries in which you need a lot of government help, a lot of regulatory help. That is typically not a good sign. On the other hand, when you have billionaires who make a lot of their wealth in industries that are because of genuine innovation, whether it's manufacturing or technology, those I generally define as good billionaires. Now, not everyone in a commodity business or in a regulatory business is a bad billionaire, but if you get my point, it's the mix which is what matters. So as far as India is concerned, I think one thing which is very interesting that has developed over the last decade is that a lot of the wealth creation in India has actually happened outside of India. And what do I mean by that? Which is that if you look at the new companies rising in India, the so-called unicorns, these tech companies, a lot of them have relied on foreign investment to grow, where the promoters themselves have not really made that much money because they've been forced to keep diluting their stake and selling out to foreigners. So in India's case, it's quite interesting that, you know, this is a phenomenon that I'm looking at globally, that we're seeing this era of tech colonialism in a way, which is that investors from US and China in particular have been making a lot of money across the world by investing in companies in the emerging world such as India. And the Indian businessmen as such have been selling down their stakes, both in the old economy and in the new economy that's been coming up. So India's billionaire mix is in fact changing, but also the fact that a lot of the wealth creation in India is unfortunately happening outside of India, and we're not seeing the growth of too many domestic billionaires in India. Yes, we have seen some. You know, we speak a lot about the Ambanis and Adanis, but not enough about someone like a Damani, you know, who has now emerged as, I think, India's second largest billionaire, even though the gap is huge between him and Mukesh Ambani. But we are seeing some instances of those, but mostly I'm concerned that we are in this era of tech colonialism where a lot of the wealth creation is happening outside of India.
That's an important point also, because of course we saw with what happened recently with India and China, and when you shut down on the so-called what's seen as Chinese firms, and then you start questioning Indian firms with Chinese investment. What should be India's solution or Indian businesses' answer to this? Because of course, on the one hand, you keep hearing the SBI chief, the RBI chief saying Indian businessmen must invest more. Is there an environment for that? Is there a trust that they can do this? Do they have the capital to do this right now?
Right. So one is capital, but the other is the regulatory framework. That the issue in India, and this we've been dealing for many years now, is that a lot of the domestic business people in India feel that the regulatory environment is very hostile to them, that the tax environment is very hostile to them. And I think that that is what we need to do more to change to favor domestic businesses in India.